Hi everyone, just a quick disclaimer before we actually get into the video. This episode, as you know by the title of it, is all about the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez. Some of the stories and some of the crimes that he'd committed are quite disturbing and could be quite horrifying to some people. And I hope you enjoy the video. At the end, we do have some audio issues that we're not sure how they happened, but you can still sort of hear Matt's mic through mine. Hope you enjoy. Cheers. Hello. We are back again. I can never think of sayings for the first 2 minutes.
You sound out of breath. What the fuck have you been doing? Fucking maniac.
Eating a spatchcock chicken.
Fucking
That's what I've been doing. Anyway, welcome back to the Vanilla Vine. We are on episode 7. 3 more. And we're in double digits.
I'm smashing it.
Smashing it. Not yet. Today's episode going to be something a bit different. We usually just chat shit. We're still going to be chatting shit, to be fair. There's no change there. But we're going to be chatting shit about Richard Ramirez, otherwise known as the Night Stalker. The new Netflix documentary landed about 3 weeks ago now, innit? We've just not had a chance to get around to recording.
We've both been busy.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that. I've got my notes are a little bit excessive, but...
Mate, when you told me to take notes, mate, I was literally... I went, yeah, all right, yeah, good one. And then you sent me a picture of yours, I went, fuck. I've not made one note, mate. That's it. I'm going off you, mate, to be fair.
We'll go off my lead. I'll be reading a lot through this.
Go ahead.
So, we'll get into it. I feel like I'm reading a book, bedtime story.
I know, because it's that big. It's like, I've read...
It's like the fucking Bible.
I know. Fucking hell. The New Testament coming out soon.
New Testament. The Disappearance of the Cecil Hotel.
Yeah. Oh, mate, that's it, yeah, man. Fuck.
So, the documentary opens. If you've not saw it, you need to watch it. Oh, so, yeah, major definitely. Spoiler alert. Like, major. So you meet Gil, don't you, in the start? The main detective.
Oh, I like
with
him.
A bad tash though, innit? I know I've got a shit tash.
Proper penfold tash. I liked it.
Yeah, it's a bit. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
I liked him, mate. He was honest. He was honest. He was a nice bloke, actually.
Yeah.
Not that I know him.
It's a bit like on here. I've got. He went into the army and went straight into Nam, Vietnam.
Yeah, I can imagine, mate.
Mate, I learned stuff about Vietnam in school, and it was like they dropped napalm, and napalm's polystyrene in like a gel.
Yeah, they don't use
and
that
because
anymore.
Because it gets on your skin, you can't get it off because it's gel and the polystyrene.
Is that
make
famous
it
picture?
glue. Yeah.
It's an inhumane of warfare these days, so they don't use it.
Yeah.
There's a good one for you.
Fucking bullet straight to the head.
Well, not really. But...
And I've got. He had a goal in life to break up with his ex-girlfriend who dumped him. I like his style.
What did she do?
She dumped him.
Why?
So he went into the army and came back out and then wanted to get back with her so then he could dump her. So then he had...
Oh, that's vindictive, that.
Nice, isn't it?
Do you reckon?
Yeah, funny
shit
that.
House, mate.
Yeah.
Shit house.
And then he became a cop and 9.5 years later became a homicide detective. But what makes me laugh, he's got very smooth, chubby cheeks.
Yeah, he looks like he's a proper like adult-sized chinchilla.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the
Couldn't put it any better. like the little one of Madagascar. The one with massive eyes.
Massive eyes, mate. Mate, good lad. Mate, but he was classy, man. I liked him, actually, to be fair.
Yeah, and then it introduces who will then be his then partner in the case, Frank Salerno. You can tell he's an hard bastard, can't you?
Oh, mate, yeah.
That bald one.
Yeah. He looks corrupt as fuck, though, doesn't he?
He looks like he's taken a few bribes.
He does, man. But he's another one, like... Fuck, it was a good series. That's the best. That was literally... we've watched a couple, haven't we?
Yeah. The Ripper one was
alright, but it was English, and it was English made.
And I've never seen a serial killer like this guy.
Nah.
Not Frank Salerno.
Yeah, nah, this guy.
Frank Salerno caught the infamous Hillside Strangler which was a corrupt cop in the late 70s, I want to say.
Yeah.
And he literally just murdered women and then threw the bodies onto, like, it was in the Hollywood Hills. He just threw them into the hills and so people would find them. And it turned out he was a corrupt cop who was just abusing his power.
The fuck does that?
I don't know. But this Frank Salerno is the guy.
Yeah.
The guy in the LAPD. There's nobody more... He's like the celebrity, He's like the celebrity in the LAPD.
He's like the Rock and... what's his name out of the other guys? Rock and...
Mark Wahlberg.
No. Where, at the start, where the Rock and...
Samuel Jackson.
Samuel Jackson are like the king.
And Samuel Jackson just agrees.
For the bushes?
Yeah, for the bushes. But what I noticed, did you not notice? This Frank Salerno, you see how big his glasses of whiskey were?
Yeah, he didn't fuck about, mate, did he?
It was a full tumbler glass.
Mate, he didn't fuck about.
He was like, I'm in this... We're going to be in this interview for a long time.
Fucking hell, yeah.
And he still didn't finish it towards the end. I'm not surprised he's drinking fucking petrol.
About 8 bottles, that's right.
But then we get to the first murder, which was March 17th, 1985. And a woman in a store picks up an AC/DC hat and a guy picks it up at the same time. And he's got a devil tattoo on his hand, otherwise known as a pentagram, which is like... Kind of looks like the Star of David, doesn't it? I'm not being funny.
It's not a good thing, is it?
No. But he's got it right on the palm of his hand. Not a good place for a tattoo, that, is it?
No, it's not.
Painful.
I've not had any.
That's where all your nerves are, in your palm of your hand.
Oh, the palm, yes.
That's where he's got it.
That's it, right, yeah, you're right, actually, yeah. Yeah, it's not for me.
Yeah. And after they both leave the store, this woman ends up leaving the hat anyway. This guy ends up purchasing the hat. And then she's just driving down the highway, and then this car just comes zooming past her. And as she's driving down the highway, this car that's caught to her, just smiles at her. The guy in it smiles at her.
Freak.
And she says he's smiling like a killer clown. And she just basically shit herself.
See, this is what I mean. Like, when we hear all this shit, I'm like, why didn't it... Well, obviously you can't report him because of that, but... Even with some of the bits, I'm just like, they should have caught him well earlier.
Oh, yeah. But it was weird. He never... But he did... to be fair, we'll get to it, but he never left any traces. Until there was certain ones where they were like, right, start connected stuff. So the first... Obviously, that wasn't the first murder, but that was the first...
Official.
The first interaction with a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the first murder was in a are they called districts in LA? Or is it like little... areas, little different areas.
Yeah.
And it was in an area called Rosemead in LA. And the police find at the scene, ironically, an AC/DC cap.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see the cap?
I seen the cap, yeah.
Denim cap, decent cap.
That's what I mean, like some of the shit, like even those trainers he had.
Yeah. Oh Jesus, the trainers. And the victim was called Dale Okazaki. Sounds like a striker.
Does, doesn't he? Yeah. He played for Leicester.
It wasn't Okazaki who played for Leicester.
He plays at Leicester.
She was shot in the forehead, but when she got shot, it wasn't just like a bang open the door, shot in the face. She'd heard someone break into her house, or her apartment. It was not a house, and she's hid behind the kitchen counter. And as she stepped up to see where this killer is, or the burglar at this point, she's pulled up, hands on top of the counter, and he was waiting for her and just shot her in the head. He wanted to see her. He wanted to see her in pain. He wanted to see her eyes before he killed her.
That's not good.
No, it's the first murder. Probably happened. He's schizophrenic. They probably happen all the time over there, I imagine. But there was something sinister that that the two detectives.
Every murder that he did was absolutely horrendous. Like literally, was like some of the stuff like it was horrendous. What he was doing. And
the victim's roommate was called Maria Hernandez, and she comes home through the garage, and the killer was behind her, and he made a noise. He banged on the bonnet of the car that was in the garage, so she would turn around and see him. And he shot at her, and she put her keys in front of her face. Do you remember this in the first episode?
yeah.
And the bullet deflected off the keys.
Fuck, that's some Matrix shit,
how
that, innit?
lucky can you get?
Nah, mate, she's not from this world,
A bunch of keys is what? Palm of your hand,
Mate,
palm of your hand at best.
Mate, I struggle to put my keys in the fucking door, mate. Never mind deflecting bullets and shit. That's mad. Mate, there was some weird shit like that, though, weren't they, like, throughout?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, was it one of them that got shot in the head? And
Which one? Which
yeah,
one?
he got shot in the head, didn't he? But it was like a dummy round or something.
Oh, we'll get to that one.
Fuck.
We'll get to that one. But she ran around the house and in like an excited way, she tried to exit out the house, which she did. So she ran out the front, because he was outside. He was gone at this point. She ran out the front of the house.
Yeah.
She's run round to try and get in through the back door, and as she's got into the back door, she's like, "Oh, he won't come out this way." He'd walk back through the house past the victim who's already shot, and just bumped into him. And she said, "You've already shot me once. Do you need to shoot me again?" And he literally gently placed the gun on the floor, looked at her, smiled, and walked off.
See,
didn't even run.
See, this is what I mean, mate. Like, he should have been caught that day, mate.
She's the person who had the best look at him.
Exactly.
Did you not see the photo fits?
Yeah, the photo compared to, I'm
Christ.
like, come on, love.
Honestly,
Fucking hell,
they
she
were
might have had a
bad.
few
They were
tequilas
bad.
or something like that.
But then the next day was a second murder. But they hadn't, obviously, just two murders, 2 days apart.
That
you don't really
picture, mate,
connect
was
them.
horrendous. You look like a Mexican Richard Pryor.
Like Lionel Richie.
You looked horrendous. I'm like, who's drawn that?
But on this second murder, there was a woman called Sai. I'm going to try and pronounce it. Sai Lan Yu.
Well played.
She was stopped in the street, dragged out of a car, and shot dead. No motive.
I remember seeing that.
No signs of trying to rob someone's house. No like her getting in the way of anything. He literally just dragged her out of a car and shot her. And then our mate Gil, your mate Gil.
I love that girl.
Yeah, he put two and two together and realised that he likes to see fear in the victim's eyes before.
I think that was a lucky break for him. That
It is, because he's more of an educated guess, really, isn't it? I know he's only just a homicide detective as well.
I think that's the luckiest guess ever.
Yeah, and then obviously they was just investigating these murders for the next 9 days. March 27th, same year. Well, it's all 1985, so I don't really need to say the year anymore. March 27th, Maxine and Vincent Zazara, double murder and 40 grand's worth of stuff stolen from their place. 40 grand.
What was in there?
Who the fuck has 40 grand's worth of stuff in their house?
I've got milk. That's about it in the fridge. I've not been shopping for about 3 weeks. I've been working away. I've literally got 2 pints of milk. And actually some chicken sausages that I'm sure are already. That's all I've got at the moment.
Is it milk long life?
No, is it? No, the milk's fine. I got that yesterday.
Oh, you good.
So I literally had fucking cereal for me tea.
Yeah. And the murderer had entered through an open bathroom window. That's something to remember. The open windows. Who don't lock the fucking windows unless you're on a high?
Americans
unless you're
weird,
up high.
Yeah.
I know a lot of American houses are bungalows, really.
Like villas, aren't they?
Yeah, there's nothing. There's never upstairs, is there? Unless it's like a massive fuck off house. But he entered through an open bathroom window, and Vincent was shot while sleeping on the couch, and then the female, which is Maxine, was stabbed in the vagina several times, and her eyes were cut out. He cut her eyes out and took them with him as a trophy.
As you do.
As a trophy.
See, this man's different level. As soon as I think that was the one where I went, this guy's a different level, mate.
But this is the first crime scene where there was a footprint found.
Oh, the footprint, yeah. Fucking hell.
That footprint. Next was the abduction of a 6-year-old girl. They didn't actually reveal her name in the series.
Didn't it?
I think she didn't want her name out, but her face is there.
Yeah. No, I can't remember that bit, actually, to be fair. Only one girl. Oh, no, she was the one that survived, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
but
it.
Child abduction of a 6-year-old girl. She was taken out of her bed. So the abductor, is that what they're called? The kidnapper. That's the one. Had got in through the window that was her room and just...
Sorry.
Am I boring you?
No, I've just had some bits to do then, sorry. Carry on.
Jumped in through her window and just taken her. But when she's in the interview, she says that she didn't scream, she didn't cry, because she felt a sense of warmth from the abductor. Strange,
it's just a weird, yeah. It's a weird...
She said it was like she knew him.
Well, that's it. It's a weird angle of how she felt at that point.
Obviously, she's still in a half of a sleep, like. But
yeah, but it's a weird one, isn't it? How do you feel like that? But she was only a kid.
I know, but you usually only feel like that if it's weird. You'd think she
kids are crazy, mate.
She compared it to an uncle or a brother picking her up.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, it's proper weird. But...
And they were driving around, told to open. The abductor told her to open the glove box, and there was a handgun in there. And he did it as a warning, as if she was going to do anything, that's what's going to happen to her. She's going to get shot. Fair
enough. Yeah, I'd shut up if I was her.
Yeah, and she was told to touch him, but you're not told where. But you can hazard a guess, can't you? You're not told where. Man.
Honestly,
6 years old.
I know, from start to finish, this was a. I never knew about this guy, mate. Serious.
It's the first murder is 5-10 minutes into the series. That proves how much they had to fit into 4 episodes.
To be fair, it was well done. But it from start to finish, I was just intrigued by
what
everything.
She did. What he put her in a duffel bag to take. He stuffed her into a duffel bag once the car had stopped, and took her into his house. So obviously she didn't know where she was. Just took her into the house, and she said the house was disgusting. It was cockroaches, it was mice, it was all sorts, there was fag butts everywhere. And all she remembers is a Madonna soundtrack playing in the background.
Honestly, I couldn't understand. I don't
Bad
understand
person, even worse music taste.
I know.
And he just begins to molest her.
He's not.
He just.
But it's weird how that's what I mean with this Gil putting that together. And his MO of going away from it and going to, like, obviously killing people and seeing fear in the eyes to abducting girls.
But I don't think he connected this one right away.
I don't think
he didn't connect it for a while.
Because there was a load.
It was so different.
Yeah, fucking hell. But there was loads. Was it San Francisco?
Yeah, no, I've got. We'll get to these one by one.
All day.
I know.
How many did he do? No, it was 14.
14.
They know of. Yeah.
But it's definitely more.
Yeah.
And she. As he was, it's a horrible thought. As he was molesting her, she kept saying she needed the toilet.
I don't think we need to go through that.
But it was a subconscious mind telling her to get out of there. But we'll go past that one. And then once you, it's horrible. But anyway, he left her at a gas station afterwards and told her to go and phone the police to go and pick him up. But the thing is, at this time, just after this, there was multiple child abductions reported. All molested and all abandoned at places where they could phone easily.
He definitely did. He killed more people, and he obviously kidnapped a lot of kids as well.
And at this point, Gil Carrillo, who's the detective that we talked about at the start, he's being overlooked and laughed at. Because he's suggesting that everything's linked.
That's it, yeah.
He's being laughed at because he's a young detective and they think he's just trying to puff his chest.
Yeah.
But
fucker was right.
I know. In the end, he was right. And then this is quite funny. This one where someone reports a guy following women down Hollywood Boulevard.
That could be anyone.
And in this car that's been reported, same type of car, and he's just driving around and just following women. Beeping at him, smiling at him, and then anyway, the police are following him at this point. They pull him over, and they actually take him in to get what's it called? Where they're a line up, and then they bring Maria Hernandez from the first murder, who did the Matrix shit for keys, and and they make him say loads of stuff, and it's not him anyway, and then they go to this guy's apartment whilst he's in the lineup, and he's just finding pictures of naked women everywhere, just like Nuts magazines, Playboy magazines, just topless women, photos cut out, knickers and everything. And the guy, when he's getting interviewed by the police, just goes, "Yeah, I like women." It's literally, he's just on the defense. And then Gil Carrillo cuts and he goes, "The people of the lab say this guy's a freak, but he's not your freak."
Right. I don't. That's what I mean. Like, he wasn't.
He just looked like a janitor. Do you remember him with massive bushy eyebrows and pointy hair? May 14th. Violent and destructive scene at the murder of William and attempted murder of Lillian Doy.
Is that the one who got shot in the head?
No, this is actually like the biggest act of bravery, really. The husband saved the life of his wife, Lillian, by ringing 911 before he died so that they would hear what was going on in the house.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
This is the weird one. This is something the police hadn't seen since decades before. The woman was in thumb cuffs.
Right, yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
And they're like a medieval...
Isn't it like a Chinese medieval torture?
It's like they've got like jagged edges.
Yeah,
and if you... And she got out of them. She ripped her thumbs off to get out of them. She ripped her fucking thumbs off. That's how much she wanted to get away, for obvious reasons.
Oh my days!
And it was.
Yeah, I don't know.
Thumb cuffs. I didn't know they were a thing.
That's a good thing, that.
Yeah, it's proper torture weapon. That.
Oh my days! Good lad.
And at this point, this is where Gil gets a rock hard on. Frank Salerno asked him to be his partner in this case because they've both got the same ideas.
The
celeb. Frank Salerno. That's the one.
Go on, son.
June 28th, just after they've become partners, Patty Higgins is murdered. This is vile. She's had a throat slit. They show this scene, obviously
proper
not properly.
graphic this time, innit? I like it, this podcast.
Yeah. She's sliced in the throat, bled to death, and then stabbed multiple times in that same hole in her neck.
She'd have been dead. I know it's not something to go, but she wouldn't have felt that.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
It's not nice.
She's dead once that cut's gone. She's gone. She's gone us.
Yeah, she's gone, mate.
And then, so that's June 28th. July 2nd, 4 days later, another murder. Mary Cannon, throat slit again. So these two are definitely linked. They know these two are linked because of the same murder, so close together.
Yeah.
So they know at this. I think they know at this point, more than anything, they've got a serial killer on their hands. July 5th, 3 days after the murder of Mary Cannon, Whitney Bennett, a 16-year-old girl, is beaten within an inch of her life with a tire iron in her own bed.
Did she survive? Yeah, she's the one that survived, didn't she?
And this is where...
She looked good in hospital, though.
I know, she looked like she recovered quite fast, but I think it looked like a lot of internal injuries, or spoke about a lot of internal injuries, because it was a blunt tire iron. So a blunt weapon's not going to show external, is it really?
It?
Yeah. But this is where they found the second footprint. Because...
Who was it? What make was it now?
Oh, we'll get to the make in a second, Matthew. Don't worry about that, sunshine. But the second footprint was in blood on the duvet, where he had stood on top of the bed and beat down on her with a tire iron. So her blood was already all over the floor. He stood in it, stood on top of the bed on a duvet and smashed her in bits.
Honestly, he had no... there was no... How he got away with all of these was ridiculous.
There's no motive.
But there's no motive. It's just that there's no thinking about it, though. Yeah. Like, he's not gone in and just said, right, okay, let's just, cover me tracks a little bit.
Know.
He's just gone fucking L to level with everybody. So everyone's been different. Not different, but similar.
Like, he's weird, innit? I know it's obviously a serial killer, but like, you see the Ripper, Ted Bundy.
Yeah, his MO
the
was
killer
like,
clown,
obviously like prostitutes and shit like that.
Ted Bundy, college girls predominantly. The Ripper, predominantly prostitutes.
Prostitutes, yeah.
Killer clown, predominantly young boys at parties. Well, Dennis Nielsen.
That's what I mean. Everyone has
gay men.
But that's what I mean. Because this one's so brutal because it's just there's no thinking into it.
It's just
he
sporadic.
just literally wants to torture people and kill them.
It's it's quite horrifying to watch.
Yeah, it is. The documentary, I was like, because it is graphical, the documentary, I'm like, fuck, this man is mental.
But you get the best insight with that.
Yeah, I
it's like when it's a reconstruction or a remake, it's not
when it's
right.
the shit reconstruction, but it's blurry in the background. I'm like, fuck off, Channel 5.
Yeah.
I've had enough of your shit, mate.
Channel 4 Naked Attraction.
Yeah. I've had enough of your shit, mate. It's all blurry. I can't see shit, mate.
And then we're on to episode 2 now. So that was episode 1.
Was that episode 1?
That was episode 1.
Right, I'm not going to be funny, mate. It's late at night here, bro. I've had a 12-hour day.
Right, let's crack on. He has no pattern to any of his. Oh, I don't think you can tell I did this late at night. He has no pattern to any of his orders.
Yes, of his orders. What's he ordering? Chinese?
Grande Big Mac.
Fucking hell.
He killed. There was no. Oh, I know what it meant. What it was meant to say. Murders.
Yeah, maybe.
He killed old people, young people, men, women. He abducted kids. This was the strangest serial killer that anyone has ever come across whilst working in the police. There's nothing that. There's no links.
No, that's what I mean.
But there's not. Like, they still doubt whether it is the same guy because it's so different.
Yeah. I think with that kill, with his lucky little break that he did, he called it straight away.
Yeah, so that he would look into it straight away.
If he didn't have called it, it'd have been going on for, I reckon, quite a while.
The next crime scene, the Rodriguez break-in. She gets woken up by a loud noise and blames her husband straight away. This is one that's quite cool, actually. I said, men, we're always getting blamed in our sleep, aren't we?
What do you mean?
We're always getting blamed for shit, even when we're sleeping. Men.
Oh, I do, yeah. Yeah, definitely. You cheated on me in your sleep.
You snored too loud.
Yeah. Cheated on me. When? In my dreams. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, that's funny.
Fucking mad.
What this Mrs. Rodriguez, sorry, all she could feel was fear in the air. I don't know if you, like, Joe, when you can feel someone behind you, it's about to scare you.
Like when you're running up the stairs?
Like that at night when you've just turned the lamp, when you've just turned the light off in hallway.
Running up the stairs like your fucking life depends on it.
All she could feel was fear in the air. Imagine not knowing a serial killer was possibly in your house in the next room.
Oh my god.
Fucking crazy, that, innit? It proves the aura that he fucking give off. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah. I think they did that for a bit of effect, though, to be honest.
But luckily, Mr. Rodriguez was a young cop, and the couple were clearing their house to make sure it was safe because they had kids in bed. And they noticed that the window outside that was painted shut, which I think just means that they've glued it shut. That's what I get from that. Anyway, painted shut. That's what I get from that. Was all the way up. It was open. So that's come up with some force. So this Mr. Rodriguez has gone outside, found a wet footprint in the soil below the window, and it matched the shoe from the other murders when the detectives got there. And they figure out this is the thing that.
This pissed me off, this shoe.
Yeah, it was. Oh, they figured out that it was a brand new shoe brand out called Avia, and it was literally only just been released. And they sent an officer from the department to Oregon to meet with the inventor of the shoe because they'd gone and obviously compared shoes in the stores and found out that it's one of these shoes.
Do you reckon his sales went through the roof after this?
Yes.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, massively.
Fuck.
I reckon so.
Might have actually, but I don't know if they make them anymore. I doubt it.
No, I can't see it.
Buy them for Creamfields next year.
And they narrow it down to the black Avia aerobic shoe.
Go on, the aerobic.
Which was, they already found this out. This is US size 11.5, which is obviously 10.5 here. And they found out that there was 6 black pairs were made and manufactured.
This is what pissed me off as well.
And 5 went to Arizona and 1 pair.
I'm like, who is this kid,
Who
mate?
sends 1 pair of shoes to LA?
To LA, mate. Honestly, I was just like, Nah, this is bull. This is someone's doctored
one
this.
pair.
He's doctored that. One pair.
One pair.
So like,
I don't know if that's exaggerated for the show or not. Surely not.
that's
though.
like getting a Nike Air Jordan as the Dior ones from fucking round here or something. That's how unique they are.
I know. And obviously the cops start looking at unsolved murders from LA to see if they can link anything from the recent murders to another. Then we get to May 29th. Mabel Bell is beaten to death with a hammer and raped.
Yeah, Mabel got it, didn't she?
And then Floris Lang. Well, she's raped and murdered, not just raped, so double whammy. Floris Lang, who was, I want to say it was her sister. It was the old women.
Yeah, I've seen that, yeah. Oh, yeah, it was.
They were both in their 80s, and they find the same shoe print and at the scene, so they know it's definitely the same guy. This is when they know they're literally looking for one person. After the killing of this woman, and then obviously the absolutely brutal beating of this Floris Lang, he had a banana and a can of Mountain Dew.
That's it.
And afterwards, he drew a pentagon on a leg of one of the women and on the wall in their own lipstick.
How the fuck did they didn't catch this guy?
I know. They found it. To be fair, though, after this, they found another case of attempted abduction.
Cheeky bastard, a Mountain Dew and a banana as well.
He didn't even finish the banana.
Son of a bitch.
Bastard.
Fucking hell.
Fucking ungrateful
But
bastard.
this is what I mean. Like it.
You give a person hospitality.
This is what I mean.
Sorry.
Nah, you can laugh like that. It's good, mate. It's good. But this is what I mean. Like, he's careless. Like, I'm not a murderer, obviously. But it's just careless. Who the fuck stops after you've killed someone to have a banana?
There's DNA. They didn't have the DNA.
No, but
like, imagine doing that now. You're caught.
Yeah.
You're caught within a week.
No. You can't sneeze on a crime scene anymore.
I know.
Not that I know of. Again, Jesus Christ, please.
They find another case of attempted abduction that could be linked to the murders and end up in a car chase with the suspect, who's obviously I think it was a yellow car, wasn't it? I don't have this noted down. I'm sure it was a yellow Ford car.
I don't know. They're all big cars, aren't they? Like,
it was a station wagon and all that.
Yeah.
And he gets caught, gets pulled out the car, and then hears, like, while the officer's going back to the car I can't remember who was getting out of the car. I can't really remember. He hears the guy who's been arrested. Here's the description over the radio that they're looking for we can probably say the description now: a tall, skinny Hispanic man with long curly hair and a very skinny face and looks quite dirty.
Yeah.
Which is a very good description of somebody. It's not hard to find someone like that.
No.
So he obviously hears this and just thinks, "Fuck this," and then Gil in the actual Netflix show says he must have just gone, "Legs don't fail me now." Drew a pentagram on the hood of the car and fucking legged it. Mate. He was gone like shit off a stick.
That happened to a guy today in Liverpool.
Oh, shit.
Fucking pulled over and just went speeding over the I think it was like a cemetery.
Did he have black of aerobic shoes?
What knows, mate? He was gone though, mate. Police couldn't get any of him at all, mate. It was so funny.
And because this was in a different area of LA, the East LAPD take the car in to check and stop Gil and Frank from being able to check the prints on the car because it's out of their jurisdiction technically.
Fucking mongs, aren't they?
July 7th. This was the most interesting one to me. Gil Carrillo's in bed, sound asleep, and his family, they're not actually in the house at this point. I think they're away visiting family.
Yeah.
He wakes up sweating and knows instantly that the killer is in his house. He just has a gut feeling. He wakes up in the middle of the night and knows something's wrong.
It's just American, that. The Americans are just fucking just too elaborate with all too... Yeah, I knew straight away. I
fucking knew.
Yeah.
He clears the house, like, obviously with the torch on the bottom, gun on the top.
Yeah.
All clear, sits down on the couch and watches a film. I'm sure he said a Clint Eastwood film. Old school cowboy film. He drops off, I think, and the phone rings. He shits. You would shit yourself. I shit myself when my phone goes off and I'm in work.
I would.
I don't get phone calls.
No. Was that a house phone?
Yeah, his house phone.
I'd shit myself if my house phone went because I don't have one.
Was it? House phone, Hey. And it's someone who he works with. I can't remember the lady's name. I remember what she looked like. She was quite short with brown hair, glasses.
Yeah.
And she says and she, on the clip in the interview, she says that she hears her name being shouted from somewhere. She's in a hot tub with her friends at this point.
Fair.
So she goes and looks over the fence, and her neighbour is pressed up against the window, handcuffed to the bed, shouting, I can't remember her name. Oh, she just screams that she's been robbed and raped, and she's handcuffed to the bed. And afterwards, on that phone call to Gil, he says, the woman says, Gil, you're going to have to leave your house. The woman across the road's just been raped. So this proves that the killer tried to break into Gil's house, left the house because he'd heard him get up, and then foot off to the other side of the road and just raped the woman instead. Swings and roundabouts.
I know, right?
But as the murderer, he didn't murder this woman, but the serial killer, as he was raping her, she was screaming. He was screaming at her, "Don't look at me, look away, don't look at me." That same night, Joy Nelson, Joy Nelson is the grandmother that there was a massive section about because she was just so nice. She was murdered during the night. He attempted to rape her, and she fought him off because she was just like, don't take any shit. And he must have been so angry that night because instead of a straight bullet to the head, he stomped on her head and beat her to death. And he had a gun at the scene because he found shell casings, and he'd just not shot her. And he didn't get his sex that he wanted that night, so that's when he went over the road and raped Gil's neighbour.
Fucking madness, mate. I forgot, because it was a few weeks ago we watched this, wasn't it? Like 3 weeks ago, something like that.
All coming back to you now.
Fuck, I'm just like going, I was literally glued to the TV, mate. Like, literally, everything was just brutal. Like, really, really bad.
It was horrible. I
think it's the worst one I've ever, not witnessed, but the worst one I've ever watched, that, yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be, it's up there.
I think,
the worst ones I've heard about are the Moors murderers, but that's different. There was links and stuff.
Yeah, but this guy is just absolutely chaotic, mate. Seriously.
This is when the media got involved. This pissed me off, this.
Yeah, the media are full of shit. Anyway,
those two journalists, the woman and then that fat bloke. His skin looked like the outside of an orange. Like fucking just crevices everywhere.
Yeah, man.
He didn't look real. He looked like he'd been made out of clay and then spat at.
Probably has. It's LA, isn't it?
And they just start pestering and mithering the detectives. You'd be pissed off, wouldn't you? You'd be fucking fuming.
Yeah, but they just try to. They're doing their jobs, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're a pain, but they are just doing their jobs, I guess.
And the car that was recovered to search for prints by East LAPD, in the car chase, they found out that the car had never been searched. Ever. The East LAPD just lied to them.
It's not good coppering, though, is it?
It's not good for... You need talk, don't you? You need... And he'll that then. You need...
scissoring.
You need communication.
Well, you could see in that then. Fucking hell.
You need communication between... And they just... There's nothing. And but in the car, they find a business card for a dentist.
This is the one that I liked, but I hated at the same time.
And they go there and see that the guy's put a false name, but the name says Richard. It was like I think it was it Mendia? Some South American surname.
Yeah.
And they found out that he's going to be back at the dentist in the next few days. But if they was allowed to check this car on the day, they would have caught him there and then because they'd gone to the dental office.
Yeah.
This is where it pissed me off, this one.
But it's the last bit that pissed me off as well, because they missed him again as well, didn't they, there?
And now we're on episode 3.
How many episodes were there for?
4. July 15th, Richard, in quotation marks, because I don't know if it's his real name yet, come into the dental office for his procedure, and it was the one day that they didn't have...
That's it.
That the detectives...
It was the last day they had it, they took him off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you've had 2 chances here now.
I know.
I thought that was bad.
The detectives weren't at the dental office.
The first time.
And he had a full procedure.
Fucking hell.
A full dental procedure, at least an hour or 2.
There's some Bobby Dazzlers in and no one's there.
I know. July 20th, 5 days after his treatment. Max and Layla Needing. The photo of these two.
Was that on the couches?
No.
Was it one on the couch and the bed? Was it?
No, that was earlier on that.
Yeah, well, wasn't it?
But
That was the worst one for me.
This one really, really freaked me out because the photo that they used of the old couple was fucking weird.
Yeah.
They looked scary. They said they were the nicest people ever, which obviously I can see that they are, but I looked at them and they looked like the Jodie Wicked Witch of the West.
Yeah.
She looked like her, and it was actually quite scary. It wasn't very nice.
Yeah, because they used quite a
maybe
lot of
a little
the real photos in that, didn't they? But obviously not too much, but it did paint a picture.
Yeah. And on that same... Max and Layla, they were shot, but not just shot. Max had his head near enough decapitated, and Layla had her face completely shot off. That's some fucking shooting, that, innit? That's not one, that's multiple to the same spot on her face.
It's like he was just in his own time zone, where no one... Or is in his own world where... Like, surely someone's hearing these gunshots.
I know. But is it common there?
Yeah, but... No, it can't be that common where people, like, continuously... Unless you're watching... I don't know. Unless you're watching something next door on TV... This can't be continuous. Like, literally, if your face is getting shot off, there's half a dozen shots there, at least. Someone's searing them, mate. I'm just like, how are they not catching him? But I think everything went his way completely.
You got to think as well, everything's 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
These detectives are not sleeping. They are kipping for an hour.
Yeah.
If that. And they're just right back at it. Same night, another murder. This is the name I don't know if I can pronounce.
Penalth. You can't even say
My
that.
Python. I'm going to try. Chainarong Kovanananth. Yeah. I'll give myself that. Shot dead while sleeping. Which he seemed to like that, didn't he? Which is a bit of a bitch move.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is, but...
Easy for him to get his kick out of it.
It's easy to get his banana back in the fridge.
And he then proceeded to sexually assault the wife of this man and also his young son.
I remember that one.
The Avia shoe print was all over this crime scene.
Yeah.
It was everywhere. The crime scene showed everything. It showed everything that this monster had done. Children, women, men. Killed the man with a gunshot to the head. Raped and beat the woman, and then molested the child.
Yeah.
Those are fucking horrible person. August 6th, attempted murders of Chris and Virginia Peterson.
Is that one?
This is the guy.
What a legend.
This is the guy. He is some hard bastard.
I tell you what, right? Everyone's probably got a decent story. This is the story that when you're old, everyone's got a decent story to tell.
You're going to do TED Talks with this story.
He's killing it in bars, mate. He's going, but have you been shot in the head?
I've been shot in the head. So, for more context, Chris and Virginia Peterson. Virginia was shot in the nostril and the bullet had lodged into the back of her neck and didn't kill her. It was just stuck. Oh, fucking
it's like that Fatima. Remember Fatima?
Like my God, cockroach. She keeps
like
it.
That, yeah.
Chris then got a shot in his head and the bullet didn't exit, so it didn't kill him. It was just in there. It was just lodged in.
What a legend!
It was just lodged in his head.
Absolute.
And what happened then is he stood up and chased him out.
Is there something there just now?
What just happened? I got an headache. Fucking chase the killer out of his house.
Keep your elbows to yourself.
Chase the killer out of his house and down the street.
Mate.
How mental has this Chris got to be for the murderer who has the gun in his hand to run away from him? To be fair, I would run away if someone who I just shot in the head got up and chased after me.
Yeah, I'd be like,
I'd be gone. But
they were shite rounds, weren't they? Like proper.
Yeah, they were old.
Yeah.
They were old.
They had red.
They had. That's actually ironic.
Bad.
At this scene, a different gun was used.
Right. Yeah.
And to the other scenes, I don't know the caliber guns because I'm not American. I'm not from Texas. So a different gun was used to this scene to shoot these two guys. And the bullets of this new gun had something called a red primer.
That's it.
Just at the bottom of the gun, bottom of the shell casing.
Yeah.
Which means this ammo was so old.
Yeah.
So old because this hadn't been seen in years or used in years. The detectives realised that after the murder of William Doy, when he saved his wife by ringing 911, prior to his murder, the police then showed up at the scene and the killer had broken and ripped out a phone cord every single scene. So after that, because obviously he nearly got caught on that one, he then used it as, what did they call it? Ligature. To strangle or tie people up. He just used the telephone cord because it was so much easier.
Yeah.
And then nobody could literally phone anyone out. There was no way to get help unless you escaped from him. And this is when they came up with the names. Did you saw this bit where they tried to come up with a name for this guy, this serial killer? The walking killer.
Oh, media have one job, mate.
The Valley Intruder. Oh. Sounds like a superhero. Valley Intruder and his sidekick.
It sounds like he's
the Valley Intruder. And then the Herald Examiner paper came up with the Night Stalker, and it stuck. That's like banging it straight to the point. August 8th, Gil gets a call. There's been another crime 6 minutes away from his house, and his wife says, "We're off. Yeah, we're off. Me and the kids are gone until he's caught. You're not going to see us till he's caught." And this is the murder of Elias Abawath and the sexual assault of his wife. And this is up there in my top moments in this series. It is when he raped this guy's wife after he'd murdered him, and he's saying, "Don't fucking look at me, don't fucking look at me," and she says, "I swear to God I won't look at you, I swear to God I won't look at you," and he goes, "Don't swear to God, swear to Satan."
Because because it was coming in every now and then it'd do. You know what I wanted from this? His interviews. I wanted to hear more of his interviews because he does give you little snippets.
You hear little bits from him all through the series, don't you? Like from the police interviews. Yeah.
Just let him describe
it might be a bit too graphic, do you think?
Yeah, possibly.
And after this, well, obviously the wife's beaten in bed and raped, and he ate half of a melon. Half a melon. If he wasn't a psycho before that, then he's a psycho now. Who digs into half a melon?
Melon was it? No.
A yellow one. What are they called? Is it a cantaloupe?
Cantaloupe, yeah. I think.
Oh, that's the orange one, that, isn't it? That's the orange one. The yellow melon.
If it was a watermelon, I'd be fuming if he only ate half.
Yeah. It's a lot, though, to eat half a watermelon, though, isn't it?
No.
Half a melon? But do you know what the photo was? A spoon left in the melon. But there was seeds in it. Pick the seeds out, you freak.
No, what is it? The dentist all the time. Fucking avocados. Let's pick them next.
Oh, funny. What have you been doing this time? Oh, fucking hell, peach stone.
Mangoes have got stones in them. Is the mango got stones?
No.
What the fuck am I on about then?
You got peach nectarine.
See, coconut straight up.
And then August 18th, San Francisco. Mr. Peter Pan.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Peter Pan and Mrs. Pan.
We should laugh, but I remember watching that. I was delirious that night as well. I literally just come back from work. And I remember watching it, I was eating, and I literally was just pissing myself laughing at the TV. I was like, wow.
Oh, my cheeks are hurting. And Mrs. Pan was... Mrs. Pan was shot but still had a pulse. I need to stop laughing. The killer opened the fridge again.
Mate,
fucking loves food. He ate all the food he could in sight in the fridge, so everything that was on the front of the shelves. threw it back up on the kitchen floor.
Yeah.
Sounds like me after a night out. At this point, it sounds like me after a night out, without the gunshots and the murder.
Yeah.
And then masturbated onto the carpet in the living room and carved a pent. We don't have carpet. And then he drew a pentagram on the wall just to top it off.
Freaked me out, definitely.
Yeah.
It just seems like he's getting more erratic, more
disgusting.
volatile. Yeah, more fucking.
Yeah.
He just didn't really. Yeah, disgusting. Yeah.
And the shell casing had the same red primer from the previous murders. Gil and Frank get on a plane to San Francisco.
This is these media.
Fucking media. And as they get onto the plane, who do they see? The fucking journalists. Orange peel and fucking half a melon. The other half melon.
Yeah.
And they're going to see a murder. That's what they're going for. And it's obviously Mr. Peter Pan and his missus. And the reporters are trying to get near the house. Obviously, the police won't let them. And the Orange Peel reporter goes and sees.
I hated him.
He was a bit of a bastard. He was just a knobhead, wasn't
he? He was the two.
I hated that Laurel, the other one.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's the one. He's a person that's CCTV all around his house. Anytime he steps in his grass, he's fucking knocking him.
Yeah.
Because he's a two.
Yeah.
I don't know why I've got that analogy in my head, but it's
pretty spot on.
He seems like that.
Pretty spot on.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And this Orange Peel starts talking to a guy who lives near the sea, and he turns out that this guy who lives near the crime that's happened is actually a police officer for that department in San Francisco. And he goes, yeah, it's crazy about all that writing on the wall. And the reporter goes, whoa, what fucking writing here? I've got it. So he's got a scoop there to write straight in the paper the next morning. And then this is what pissed Gillen Frank off. The mayor of San Francisco, she released a special secret evidence.
Oh my god!
To the fucking world.
Yeah, this was a bad mistake. Surely she's got people around
a team. Surely.
Of ex-police, military, this, that, and the other, to say
don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, that pissed Gil off, didn't it?
Oh, big time. Big time. August 24th, the murder of Bill Carnes. He was shot and his fiancée was attacked. And the murder admitted to this guy that he was the Night Stalker whilst he was killing him. And the girl rings the police. This is where it gets to him getting caught. A girl rings the police about her dad befriending a guy called Rick. Bearing in mind, I think her dad lived on Skid Row, the homeless area in downtown LA. And they track Rick give this girl's dad a gun, and they track this gun. How can they track this gun to Tijuana? And they find a stolen boombox from a previous murder with the same guy.
Yeah, didn't he say he sold it to him?
Yeah. And they find out that there's a guy called Armando Rodriguez, and he has a friend called Rick who has the same clothes as the suspect who saw at the murders, which was a black, is it like a black soft shell jacket, black jeans, black shoes, and a cap, which was obviously the first murder. And this is in San Francisco. This isn't in Los Angeles. And the San Francisco police go to Armando's house, and they tell him that basically say that are you the Night Stalker? And he goes no. Starts getting angry at the police. The detective goes obviously walks away from the house, backs up, and they go back and see him. And then he comes out to the car. He's still angry, and they basically say, your friend Rick, he is the Night Stalker. He is. We know he is. And he starts trying to swear up to the police again. They get him in the back of the car, and he starts giving him shit. Then he starts giving his police officer shit.
His story annoyed me as well.
Yeah.
The way he said,
Yeah.
literally felt like he sold everything.
Yeah.
Fair.
He put the last piece in the puzzle, didn't he? And he literally goes to twat him. He punched him at first and he calls him a pussy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He starts, and then he's like,
I was just like,
you pesky kids.
On,
And then he goes to twat him and he goes, I'll say it as he goes, Richard Ramirez.
Yeah.
And then I've got the Night Stalker's name.
That's his name, man.
And then I haven't got notes for this one, so I'm going off memory.
Go ahead.
The next episode is how he gets caught.
The next episode is just basically it's just basically how they just literally caught him.
The police know where he lives now.
They know where he lives.
They've got his name.
Literally more or less what he looks like. Not like a...
They know what he's wearing.
Yeah, probably like a white... Oh no, but
Hispanic.
Yeah.
And they're chasing through a Hispanic neighbourhood, if I'm right.
Did they not put his... They put something in the paper, didn't they? So they knew... Was it his image? Was it his... I think they put a better image, didn't they, in the
It could have been.
I think that's what happened because...
Oh, yeah, he was on a bus.
Yeah. And then they found... And then there was obviously people that saying, fuck, it's him. Did he not go into a... And then he went into a store.
He went... No, he got off... Some woman found him on the bus, and she tried to ring someone, if I'm right. She got off at a payphone, and he tried to ring something whilst looking at him, and he just fucking legged it off this bus, and they knew it was him. And
that literally is the best vigilante kind of thing I've ever witnessed.
Yeah, everyone knew.
Yeah, it was class.
And the funny thing, he runs into an all Mexican neighbourhood. Hard bastards.
Oh, mental, mate.
And then, fucking hell, he gets chased by tens of people. And then one of them hit him already with a blunt bar, don't they? Yeah. Just twat him.
Yeah, they were. But to be fair,
I know, they kicked the shit out of him.
A lot more than that, to be fair.
It's easier to just get in out of the way how he got caught. He just twatted him. The police came, and then obviously arrested, admitted to everything.
But did he ever admit to any more murders?
No, not that I know of.
He would have.
I know, but one thing that made me laugh is how hard he thought he was in court.
Oh, mate, I thought that at first. I thought he's just a little bit of a freaky. He's got a freaky look to him, and then it was even worse. Like birds were sending him pictures and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, how the fuck has he done this?
And it was when
it was like Scarface in the
Yeah, he did. He had them glasses on. His hair had grown, but he got that clip where he holds his hand up.
Yeah.
And he says, "Hail Satan," as he gets arrested and convicted. I know.
Inside the courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
Freaks, mate.
I can't believe how many photos he was getting.
No.
Crazy. But that's the Night Stalker.
Yeah, I think with what the last one was just a bit basically how they
facts. It was facts, wasn't it?
It was. I wanted to a bit more, so maybe a new season of going through the trial, and then just going through a bit more. I wanted the interviews, mate. The interviews.
There'll be somewhere then. You'll be able to get them somewhere.
Night Stalker tapes or something like that.
Like the trial of they did have that American football player. Ted Bundy. Yeah.
Tapes as well.
Yeah.
Good.
I feel like that one would be unbelievable because he's a Satanist, isn't he? He worships the devil, and the devil was telling him to do all of it. But anyway, I hope you like that.
I enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
We did that. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. So if you liked it, let me know on Instagram or on YouTube comments, whatever.
Through the doing the Cecile.
Yeah, there's a new one, The Disappearance of Elisa Lam, which I've finished now. It's another 4-episode series, and it happened at the Hotel Cecil in Skid Row in downtown LA. So that would be a good one to do.
Might be our new thing, like talking about murders and shit.
I find it interesting. I feel like people will find it interesting. So as long as I get good feedback, then I'll crack on. Yeah, do whatever. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Whatever you're doing. So we'll see you in episode 8, whenever that will be. Adios.